Welcome to the Lean Out Your Business podcast, a show dedicated to helping entrepreneurs accelerate business growth and simplify success. I'm your host, Crista, and I've been working with businesses for more than 2 decades to help them lean out and optimize what's working while eliminating anything that's not adding value. So if you are ready to get more time back in your day, more profit in your business, and to do business differently, growing and scaling on your terms, let's dive into today's episode. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Lean Out Your Business podcast. I am so excited today to introduce you to Rebecca Saunders, who I got the pleasure of meeting on Necker Island. She's one of the absolutely incredible thought leaders and entrepreneurs that I got to spend the week with. And we had these magical morning chats overlooking the pool and the ocean with our coffees before we would go and meet with the rest of the group most mornings. And I just absolutely loved and cherished that time, but also really came to absolutely love her and her work. So I'm super excited to let her share her brilliance with you today on all things video and how we could make a bigger impact through video. Rebecca, welcome. I'm so excited that you're here.
Thank you. I'm so excited too. I actually have my coffee. It's just that we're not sat by a pool anymore.
One of the things that I love that you do with your work is it's not just how to create video, which is obviously important, but it's how to create and leverage video to make that bigger impact. And I think that just fits so beautifully with what so many of us have been feeling coming back from Necker. And all of you listening, I'm going to assume because so many people in my world are very passion fueled, they're very impact driven, that you're also inspired to make a big impact. And so how can we leverage video in a way to actually make the impact that we want to make in our businesses, in the world, and whatever is important to us?
Yeah. So I think the crux of this for me is, and it's been highlighted with COVID and the lockdowns, and video done well and done consistently, you can reach so many more people, right? Like, think about how many connections you and I made during those last 2 years when we're stuck at home. I'm sure we met people in all far corners of the world because we were online seeking out different people, showing up, keeping doing the doing. And I feel that from a video perspective, that's the beauty of it. You can talk one to many at the time you're recording it, and then it's on repeat. It can be replayed. It can say somewhere and people can come and find it in days later, months later, years later. So I think in terms of that impact piece, if you can make sure that video is part of your marketing suite and make it consistently, and that when I say consistently, I can see some people freaking out as they're listening to this podcast. I'm not saying you have to show up on a daily basis, not even a weekly basis, but if you can commit to producing a video once a month, and you can roll that out once a month, you're getting your knowledge out there. People can come and find it. And the more consistent you are, the more they expect, the more they go looking for that content, right? If you can do something each and every month and people can trust that you're going to deliver that, they will soon start looking for that. And it's when you stop that consistency that the impact stops. It is really the crux of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that brings up, that's probably a common mistake that people make, is being inconsistent. But what are some of the others? There must be some really common things that you see people do with video or don't do with video.
Okay, so one of the things when people go, right, I've got to show up, what the hell do I talk about? And then they just waffle. No. People don't have time for that. We are time poor humans. You need to make sure that the content that you are delivering, whether it's on video or any other medium for that matter, has value to your audience and is respectful of the time that they're giving it to listen to or to watch, right? So that's really important. So I see a lot of people just jump on and waffle because they think that they need to make videos, so that's what they're going to do. And so to caveat that, one of the things that people miss a lot is the planning. And I'm sure you see this in your world all the time. You know, it's that bright, shiny thing of, oh, I'll do that. But we forget the foundations that we need so that it doesn't fall down. And so if we can plan out that content, then we've got that solid plan that we can go, what am I talking about today? Okay, I've got a list, and an easy place to start there. And it baffles me that people don't start here, but this is the starting point, is what are all the frequently asked questions that you're getting asked about your product, your service, your business? Write them down. Write down every single question you get asked. I've got them in a Monday board so that I just go through and go, oh, that's a popular question. I'll record on that today, and it doesn't have to be word for word that question, but it starts percolating those themes that you can start talking about, because if one person's asked you that question, you can guarantee that there are a lot more people wondering whether they can ask that question or seeking the same answer. So in doing that, that's sort of number one, the planning and the actual getting it done. And then I don't quite know how to put this into words, but people don't like watching themselves back, right? Like, no one likes the sound of their own voice. No one likes the way they look on camera. I know if I look at myself, I'm like, oh, your eyes are a bit wonky and your eyebrow does a weird thing when you can self-critique yourself to the point that you don't put the content out there. And that's the worst thing that you can do, because as individuals, we are programmed internally not to like the sound of our own voice or the way we look on camera. The majority of people, how many times do you record your voicemail on your mobile phone? You've probably recorded it 3 times and gone, ugh, okay, I'll put that down. I can't do it anymore. Video's the same thing, but you've got to keep doing it. So my trick, it really is, if you can do it, either just do it, record it, put it out there, do it, record it, give it to a team to edit and make amazing, and then put it out there. I didn't watch any of my video content for the first 6 years of business. Like, I just stood there, recorded it, put it out. I don't have to like the way I look. No one's going to care, right? That's one of the crux of it, really.
Yeah, it's so true. And I remember I've shared this story before, but I'll say it again because I think it's relevant for this conversation. Is way, way, way back when, this is probably about a decade ago now, I had created a video for my email list and I put it up on YouTube to share the link with them. And honestly, I didn't even think I made it public. I thought it was the link where they could go and watch it if they had the direct link, but other people couldn't find it. And fast forward a couple of years, and we were getting ready to change up my YouTube channel. And I'm like, well, I have a lot of followers on YouTube. So like, I want to take them with me. And my husband's like, you don't have followers on YouTube. You don't use YouTube. I'm like, no, I get new followers like every day. I don't know why. I just always get followers on YouTube. And he's like, that doesn't make any sense. You don't use YouTube. And I'm like, I know, but I get followers. Well, turns out my video went viral. Today it has
Oh,
over 1
wow.
million views on it. I
Wow.
didn't even know I published the darn thing. But I will tell you now, if I had known that that video was live and I had watched it, there is no way I would have put it up there ever. I
Mm.
watched it afterwards and I was like, I can't believe, oh my God, I'm not even this. And I was doing it. I didn't even have, and it's like all those different things and doubts end up coming up. I
Yeah.
would have never put that video out there. Meanwhile, I just simply didn't understand how to use YouTube and made something public when I didn't think I made it public.
You know what?
And
And that's
meanwhile,
the beauty of it. That is
yeah,
totally the beauty of it, right? It's those things that we get in our own way, and you know that that story just is just the crux of, put it out there, because you're going to critique yourself and you'll stop yourself from doing something amazing and having the
mhm.
impact that you want. And I think that's phenomenal, right? Like, one of the things I tell people to do when they're creating content, and I'm really hoping that video is still there, Crista, because I want to go have a look at it, is to actually go back and they put themselves at, in such difficult places to reach the video content that they're wanting to create, because they're looking at people that have been creating video for decades, right? They're looking at videos that have been created by people that have been doing this for years, that probably now have a team around them making this content for them. And they forget that they're comparing their video 1 with this person's 10,000. And so one of the things I like to say is, go back and look at those YouTube channels and scroll all the way to the bottom of all the videos and see where they started, because then you can actually give yourselves the right benchmark and give yourself a pat on the back when you've made that video and you've put it out there.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that video, I was sitting at my kitchen table and my dogs are running around and playing in the background. And I mean, there was no professional editing, there was nothing in that video, but it just so happened to be the right content for the right audience at the right time. And
Correct.
I think that that's the thing, right? What's
Mm.
most important? Does it matter what you're wearing or how great your hair looks or how great? No, it
No.
doesn't really matter. We think it does, but it doesn't. It's, do you have the right content for the right person at the right
Correct.
time? And if you do, that's what matters.
Yeah, right. Correct. 100%. It's all about the messaging, and it's that, again, no waffling, right? It's that message for your audience to respect their time because they'll watch
Mhm.
it. Yeah, if
Yeah,
it's
and
the
if
right
you're hung up,
message.
just pretend that you didn't publish it and it's on private, and you'll be good to go.
I love that. Or give it to someone else to publish on the platform that you have no idea where it's gone. Yeah.
All right. So, speaking of which, though, let's talk about confidence because the
Yeah.
reality is, had I realized, I never would have published that video. And it's because I was feeling a little unconfident. I've always been self conscious about my weight. And I look at the video and I'm like, ooh, that angle wasn't flattering, right? And it's like all those silly things that can really hold us back that feel so deeply important to
Mm.
us that other people really truly don't notice and don't care because they're not there to look at you. They're there for your content. But how does confidence hold people back? And I know you have a really interesting story as it comes to confidence that I'd love for you to share as well.
Yeah. So confidence is one of those tricky things, right? It's one of those things that we are programmed as society to give an F about other people's, feelings, thoughts, the comments that pop up. They're everywhere. Like, it's all the gossipy stuff is just rippled through society as a whole. And I feel that when you start having that and you have those self thoughts, you said it yourself just then, there's a little voice on your shoulder that goes, oh, that doesn't look right. Oh no, that camera angle's really bad. Oh no, no, your skin's terrible today. We need to, I think confidence for me, and then what I teach my clients is confidence comes from, actually it's inner work that you've got to do first. It's that piece that you go, you need to be okay with you, right? Like you need to be all right with the way that you look, whether you're thin, fat, tall, short, you've got hair or you haven't, right? Like that's who you are. And I feel that until you can actually go, oh yeah, cool, that is me. You don't fully ever embrace the authentic you on camera. So, and I think that's a really important place that you need to get to when you're creating content. And you really do need to think about what we have just talked about there in terms of what we've just talked about on the show is once it goes out there, no one cares what you look like. It's you that is picking yourself apart. It's no one else. And sure, when you get to video 100 or year 5 or whatever, there are going to be some mean people that pop up in the comments and just say random crap. Just delete them, just ignore and delete and just don't engage. I've got friends of mine that actually have their team members go through and just hide all their ugly comments. Like don't have to delete them, just hide them from public view and hide them from the view that you don't want to see, because that's just going to drain you down even more. And quite frankly, the people that spend time writing those comments, like what else are they doing with their lives, right? They're not making the impact. They're not out there, as Brené Brown talks about, they're not out there in the arena doing the work, so they've got no right to say anything about it. So I think when it comes to that confidence piece, it is about being just finding that vibe to be in your own skin. And if you're not around people that support you in doing that, look at the people you're around, because it might be a change of network or a change of space or a change of the people that you're around to create this stuff, because doing all these things and putting yourself out there is not the norm, right? It isn't actually the norm. Very few people do it, and so it's unknown to a lot of people. So it's one of those things that I think is really important just to be aware of. Put it on a post-it note. I've still got post-it notes here. This is your daily reminder to show up, stuff everyone's feelings. Like that really is, when you're creating content and putting yourself out there to have that impact, don't worry about what other people are going to say, because at your heart that that's your vision that you're bringing to life, right? That's the impact that you're going to have. And you alluded to my story, and for me, I have alopecia. I've had alopecia for 25 years, and for 25 years, I wore a wig. I was constantly covering it up, making sure that I looked, like every other regular person. And I would be wearing red wigs, blonde wigs, dark wigs, changing it up, having a lot of fun with it. So I was having fun with me being me and me being slightly unique, but I wasn't leaning into my own uniqueness. And I was, quite frankly, teaching people how to be confident on camera, how to do this in front of the camera, how to be amazing. Yet I was being inauthentic because I wasn't being my true self and I wasn't showing up as me as a whole. And friends of mine in my mentoring group had been going, Becca, your business is going to skyrocket. Just take your hair off, own it, rock it. You look amazing. Go do it. I'm like, nah, no, no, no. Like, when you're walking a dog and they don't want to be walked, they're like, no, I'm not going there. That was really where I was at for years, right? For years. And then in the third lockdown that we had here in Sydney, in New South Wales, with COVID last year, so 2021, I think, it got to a point where it was summer. I was wearing a wig. I was doing too much screen time, so I was wearing my glasses instead of contact lenses. And then we had to wear masks. Masks were mandated. And I was like, oh, this is too much. Like, something's got to go. Like, something here has got to go. And I need my glasses to see, and I need the mask so I'm not breaking the law. So I kind of got that little like push from the universe to go on, just do it. Just do it. And I was surrounded by people around me that went, yeah, do it. That'll be cool. Just you do you, babe. You do you. And I'm like, okay, what? Okay, well, let's do it. Let's see what happens. And I don't do things by halves. I'm sure many entrepreneurs don't, but I really don't do things by halves. I called a friend. We did a photo shoot. Like, I did all the website images changed on my website, all the social media profiles changed, and I put a post out about this is what I was doing, this is why, this is all the feelings around it, but I'm putting myself out there and I'm showing up as me, and here I am. And I put that post on every social media platform, but the thing for me was LinkedIn. I had thousands of comments on that post. Not one of them was negative. Not one negative comment on any platform, but on LinkedIn, nothing was negative. So many people messaging about how me showing up as me had given them the confidence to show up as them. Or I had messages, I've been wearing wigs my whole life, and now you've given me hope that it actually might be okay to show up as me one day. So I think if for me, that story very much was, oh, okay, like me doing the work and showing up as me has given so many other people the opportunity to show up as them, and given them permission. So I think if you're really looking and struggling with that confidence piece, look inwards and go, okay, but if I'm good with myself, let's just do it. Let's just give it a crack. Let's try it. You've got to be ready. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, rip off your hair or, get in a bikini if you're not feeling like you want to be in a bikini and take a photo. Don't do stuff that you're not comfortable with. But if you are comfortable in your skin, there is no reason that you shouldn't be showing up for your business on video.
I absolutely love that story. And I think, while your story is very unique to you, I think we can all resonate so much with some variation of us having to be like, I'm not putting myself fully out there, and I need to let this perception of what I should do or should look like or should something go, and really just step into who I am. And so, what a beautiful just illustration of doing that. And I love how other people then took that to give themselves permission to do the same.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing. And I didn't expect that to happen, right? But you know what? In showing up as me and my whole self, my business has skyrocketed. I've done some really cool stuff. I don't feel like I need to be anything for anyone anymore. I can just show up and be me for me and show up for my clients how they need me to show up. And I think the freedom that's given me is phenomenal, like absolutely phenomenal, to the point that I got married in April completely hair free. Like, I was ready for it. Like, friends, family, everyone. I just haven't worn a wig since I took it off and made that decision. So when you can really lean into you, really leverage that uniqueness and have the support of the people around you, that's powerful. That's super
Oh,
powerful.
what just such an incredible story. So thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
And so I want to dive into some of the specifics on video.
Okay.
So for everyone listening, I'm going to guess there's probably two camps.
Hmm.
There's those who are already leveraging video that maybe there's some more advanced things or some more ways that they can leverage it to even further their impact. And then there may be those who are maybe underutilizing video. Either they haven't gone all in yet, or maybe they're just dabbling. And I'm sure there's some things that they could do as well.
Yeah,
So
very
what are
much so.
some tips for each camp?
All right, so let's start with the people already making video. So chances are they're either batch recording and creating a lot of content in one go. Highly, highly, highly recommend. That's the easiest way to make so much content. Um, and they're probably maybe putting it out on one platform, possibly two. As you said, sharing it with your database. So share it on more platforms, I think, is number one. And look at repurposing that content. And so what I mean by repurposing now, given all the social media changes, et cetera, that's happening and it's constantly evolving, is look at how you can film your videos so that you could cut them as vertical pieces. So if you look at where you're filming in a horizontal video, when you're cutting that, if you're recording just one video, you're wanting to look at your screen dimensions and you want to be in the center third of that screen, because that center third is what's going to become the vertical video when you crop everything else out and change the ratio. So if you can start thinking about, how do I film this content and create this content to be vertical and to be horizontal, you can then leverage it and put it on way more platforms, right? Which means you can reach way more audiences. One of the things that I really love to do with clients when we're creating videos is to set our mobile phones up to the side, put them on a time lapse, take another video from a different angle, because that then becomes social media content. So without overwhelming the people in the newbie camp, when you get to the point that you're creating content regularly and you are comfortable in delivering your content online, that's when you can start adding to your checklist. I'm going to take some short snippets here. I'm going to do a time lapse and I'm going to speed up that time lapse and turn it into an Instagram reel or a TikTok. So it's starting to think about how you can change those pieces up. One of the things that we're doing now, because obviously Reels and TikToks are a huge thing for business growth at the moment, and they don't have to be all singing and dancing, quite literally. But look, if you're scripting your content, this is a lot easier. It's very much around taking just 30 seconds of your video and turning that into a reel or a TikTok, because that bite-sized piece of content is going to be useful for someone, right? So if you're creating a video a week or a video a month and it's a couple of minutes long, you've got 3 or 4 30-second snippets there that you can pull out and turn into another piece of content. So repurposing is definitely something that is underutilized and something you can super leverage to have impact in more places to reach more people. So that sort of sums that one up. And then for the second camp, the DIYers, I think it's really important for me to flag that you can create amazing video content with what you already have, right? So when I say that, everyone has a mobile phone and a device that can record high quality video content. So it's just a matter of knowing how to use that, essentially. So one of the things that I like to say is you can probably equip yourself with, once you've got your phone, with simply a baby tripod that you can put your phone in, and maybe some AirPods as a microphone. And that's your basic setup. You don't need to be spending hundreds or thousands of dollars on equipment and convincing yourself that you're not ready yet because you haven't got this. And when you've sold that sale, then you can buy that thing and then you can make the video. No, you can make it on your mobile phone. So sorry, not sorry. There's no excuses there. Or on your webcam, right? I'm sure a lot of us now have invested in webcams off the back of working from home. So webcams and mobile phones are a really good starting point. You alluded to it in the introduction. The Video Academy I built because I wanted to just give people the tools that they needed to learn how to film their content, edit their content, how to plan that content, put it out there. So all the things that you need to know and the questions that you think are too stupid to ask, we've answered them. And so I think that's a key thing when people are learning a new skill is, oh, I think this question, I don't think that makes me sound really stupid. Nuh-uh, no question is too stupid when it comes to creating video content. It's a new skill. It's a new art form. You are putting yourself in front of a camera, which is very difficult to maintain eye line at that camera when you really want to go look at, are my hands going outside of the screen or anything like that. It takes time, it takes practice, and you need that cheer squad around you, right? So find that cheer squad, find that resource and that tool that works for you so that you can have your questions answered. Because if you don't ask them, you're going to just be making mistakes and tripping up at places that you probably didn't need to trip up at, because you could have had those questions answered and be told a really quick hack of how to fix that problem or solve that issue or sort out that tech drama. So find that tribe and ask the questions, I think would be number one. And no more excuses. Like, literally put that on a Post-it note and stick it on your computer right now. Like, no more excuses. You have a mobile phone. Like, that's it.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you said that, because I think we naturally get into the I will wins. I'm going to do video. I'll do it when
Mhm.
I get a new microphone, when I get a new camera, when I finish this project, when I.
Yeah.
But I love no excuses, right? If this is important, if this is something that you want to integrate into your strategy, which the reality is today, video is no longer really optional. I
No,
mean,
right?
technically everything's optional, but it's really not all that optional.
Not really.
Yeah,
Fortunately, no.
exactly. So it's, no excuses. I love it.
Yeah.
You said it best. Excellent. So tell people, where can they find more about your Video Academy? Where can they find more about you and the other amazing work that you do?
Amazing. Well, you can find me at RebeccaSaunders.com. The Video Academy is front and center, so you can find it there. But you can also find it at thevideoacademy.com. So super easy. It can go both ways. I'm on social media platforms on all of them at the Rebecca Saunders. There is only one of me. I'm going to own it. And I've got that handle on all platforms. So you can't not find me. There's a lot of hot pink involved. Look for the hot pink bold chick and you'll be fine.
Brilliant. And of course, all of those links will be down below. So do make sure that you check out and follow Rebecca, because she gives such incredible advice and tips and insights into leveraging video, which you just got the tiniest little taste of in this episode.
Bite size.
All right, so there's a question I ask every guest, and I cannot wait to hear what you have to say. And that is, how in your business do you work smarter, not harder, and keep things lean?
Ooh, okay. So for me, and it's going to come back to video creation, because content creation as a video person is massive. Every business owner should be doing it. For me, working smarter is about bulk creation. So I spend a week, maybe a week and a half every quarter, planning and creating content for that quarter. And so I've constantly got that plan on the boil so that I can jump in and record videos super fast. And then I've got systems in place that my team know, okay, take this video, turn it into X, Y, and Z, and then it's gone. So I, as a business owner, really only need to be showing up in front of the camera for a few days. But that few days to the outside world looks like I am on it 365 days a year. And so I think for me, it's that bulk filming and it's those systems so that it's just a well-oiled machine. When I'm saying that, I don't just set and forget. You do need to jump in and watch the comments. So I am still there, people. I'm still live and I am still watching the socials, but it is very much around that content creation for me is that bulk production. Winner every time. Every time. Just takes the pressure off.
Yeah, I love that strategy in general. And you said two of my favorite words of all time, planning and systems.
Yes.
So that's all of that. Awesome. Well, Rebecca, thank you so much. I feel like we could talk for days on this topic. You are just a wealth of knowledge. And I so appreciate you being here and sharing just a little bit of that knowledge with us.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. I've had such a blast. You've started my day off so phenomenally. I'm so excited.
Excellent. All right, everyone, get those show notes below. Go check out Rebecca, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Lean Out Your Business podcast. I hope you got a lot of value and actionable insights from today's show and would love if you take a moment to leave us a review. If you have any questions on today's episode or on how to lean out your business, join us over in our private Facebook community where every week we do live training and Q&A, and I'd love to have you be part of the conversation. Head to leanoutmethod.com/group to join us. And before you go, be sure to subscribe to the show so you're the first to know when we release a new episode. We'll see you next week.